to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo. Darren, leave my jets alone. You're supposed to land them ASAP, not send them off spinning in circles all over the place.
Bajo, there's no need to get your flight paths in a twist. I've been communicating with Charles over at Kingsford Smith, and he assures me that this is an appropriate pattern for a busy international airport.
And who, pray tell, is Charles?
Why, he's the computer that controls the airspace over Sydney. He's the centralised heuristic airborne...
Darren, you know you're completely bonkers, don't you?
And this is Flight Control, which you may have seen before if you've played it on an iPhone or an iPad, because it's one of the most popular games for them.
That's right. The game was developed by Firemint, who are an Aussie company based in Melbourne, who made the game and have ported it to PS3 to make use of the Move.
So what do you think?
Yeah, look, it's pretty good. I think it's a lot easier to land the planes using the controller than with your finger on the iPad or the iPhone. And also the landing runway seems a bit more forgiving now.
And the multiplayer is good fun.
Yes, as long as you don't have a robot in your family that interferes with everything.
Well, I guess they had to make it so that any player could alter a plane's course to avoid collisions.
Yes, and seeing as the aim of the game is to land as many planes as possible, most people probably aren't going to have a problem because they don't have Darren in their house.
My system is accurate, Bajo, but you can't avoid pilot error. Human error, if you know what I mean.
There are some extra maps in this version too, including that hectic night one. That was really hairy. You know, I think this might be one of the best games we've played in the Move so far, and all the better as it's Aussie made.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But what's up next, Hex?
PokePark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure.
Oh, Pokemon! Prepare for trouble and make it double!
Pika pika.
Psyduck.
Prepare yourselves, Poke fans, because PokePark has arrived for the Wii, and yes, you get to play as Pikachu.
The game starts with Mew visiting Pikachu in a dream, pleading for help. You must go to the PokePark and try and restore order as things have turned a little chaotic. The rainbow over the park has disappeared, the Pokemon are fighting amongst themselves, and the sky prism that protects the park has shattered, sending its pieces all over the place. If the Sky Prism isn't put back together and its power restored, then the Sky Pavilion could fall, and that would mean the end of the PokePark.
It would be a Pokealypse.
According to Mew, Pikachu is the key to fixing all of this, so it's up to you to collect Sky Prism pieces from all the Pokemon who are holding them, reuniting them along the way.
The Pokemon really aren't getting along here at all. Early on, when you get to the beach zone, you'll find out the place has been trashed because of an epic battle.
Epic it would have been. It must have gone on forever. A water type versus a water flying type is not very effective.
The Pokemon themselves look amazing, and for anyone who has only ever seen Pokemon in 2D, prepare to be impressed. The game is packed with loads of popular and not so popular Pokemon, all with their same abilities, moves and traits from the main series. There's Torterra with his Razor Leaf, Hitmontop and Rapid Spin, and here is Magikarp, being Magikarp.
In the beginning, there are 193 Pokemon, and you can make friends with all of them. In most cases, making friends is a pretty simple process. You talk to a Pokemon, play a short skill game, beat them, and become friends. The Pokemon is then registered in your PokePark pad as your friend. But play with them a few more times and they'll become your best friend and turn rainbow coloured.
Always I want to be with you and make believe.
Other Pokemon aren't so easy to get along with. They require you to have a certain number of friends before they'll play, or they'll only appear after specific events have been triggered. And some Pokemon won't even appear until after you've beaten the game. You don't have to make friends with every Pokemon here, but it certainly adds a few hours to your playtime if you do it.
There are other characters that can help you out along your quest. Chatot is your guide to the PokePark, and Drifblim transports you around from zone to zone, plus the 3 starter Pokemon who followed you into the PokePark and will help you out whenever they can.
The game is made up of various zones, each with an attraction and a keeper guarding it. Attractions are like mini-games that you have to beat in order to win a Sky Prism that opens up the next level. The part I liked most about the attractions is that you can use the Pokemon you've made friends with along the way instead of playing as Pikachu. Different Pokemon have different skills, so naturally some of them are going to be more suited to certain attractions than others. Like Gengar here with his little cheat. The controls were pretty easy to learn.
Yeah, although I wish they had used the nunchuck for better control. It's not bad though, using the Wiimote on its side and the D-pad to move around. It mostly works well. Well, mostly. Final thoughts, Hex?
Don't go into this expecting the same experience as the handheld Pokemon RPGs, but I think younger, casual fans who just want to play around with some Pokemon will have some fun, so I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 rubber chickens.
You can finish the main storyline in about 10 hours, and it's pretty straightforward, and it's not really one for Pokemaniacs, but I think for newcomers or younger gamers who want to get into this very popular franchise, it might be a good place to start. So I'm giving it 5.5 out of 10 rubber chickens. Well, Hex, what's on the Askatron this week?
Well, questions badge, lots of questions. This one is from Buzz in Andy's toy box in Queensland. You have a little something in your...
I can feel it boring into my skull. On New Super Mario Bros. DS, if you get all the star coins, what happens? Well, Buzz, nothing that exciting happens, but when you spend them all, you get an extra star on your save file.
And there are actually 3 bonus stars you can get. 1 from beating the game once, 1 for getting and spending all star coins, and 1 for unlocking and completing all stages, including entering all those cannons.
All right, next we've got this from Ben in Altona, Victoria.
Hello! I would really like to know if there's another Ratchet & Clank game that's coming out on PS3 sometime in the future. Thanks for answering. Indeed there is, Ben. A new Ratchet & Clank was recently announced at Gamescom in Germany. Here's a quick sneak peek.
It's called Ratchet & Clank All for One, and this time it focuses on 4-player co-op, both online and offline.
It's not set for release until about this time next year though, so you've got a bit of a wait for that one. All right, next up we've got this one from Lucy in Cairns, which is in Queensland.
It's so soft. When I was little, I used to play this game called Banjo-Kazooie, and I loved it, but it was only ever on Nintendo 64, and now I can never find the console or any games. Is Banjo-Kazooie on any other consoles, or will there ever be any new Banjo-Kazooie games you can play on a different console? Well, Lucy, the latest game in the series is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and it was released on Xbox 360 back in 2008. You should be able to find it secondhand, or it's available to download from the Games On Demand service.
But be warned, as it's a very different game from the first 2, focusing mostly on creating vehicles. So if you're craving some of that old school platforming action, you can get the HD remakes of the original Banjo-Kazooie, as well as the sequel Banjo-Tooie on Xbox Live Arcade. Of course, you'll need a 360 to play them.
There's no news about any potential new Banjo-Kazooie, but if we hear anything, we'll be sure to let you know. Okay, next we've got this from Emily, who's on Mars. It's nice and sunny up there this time of year.
I hear that. How do I fix my yellow symbol on my Guitar Hero drums?
Well, Emily, busted cymbals are a very common problem, and you've got 2 options really. First, you could get a new one. If it's still under warranty, you can send it back for a replacement, and if it's not under warranty, then you can just buy a replacement cymbal online. But from our experience, almost every cymbal we've tried seems faulty, so there's no guarantee a new one will actually help.
You could try to fix it yourself, but be warned. You will void your warranty and you may end up making things worse. But hey, if it's already broken, then how much worse can it get? If you do decide to try, simply unscrew the 4 screws in the bottom and see if either of the wires have come loose. If they have, then you'll actually need a soldering iron to reattach them. Soldering irons are very dangerous though, so make sure you get a grown-up to help you with that.
If the wires are still attached and it's not working, then you might want to try to get yourself some super glue and a hobby knife and an adult. Get the adult to carefully cut through the white foam pad below the sensor. As cleanly as possible, cut the sensor off the foam, then re-glue the sensor directly to the cymbal, and hey presto, you should have a much more accurate and sensitive cymbal.
There's another simpler fix that some people have tried where you fold up a bit of cardboard and then put it on top of the sensor. In theory, this applies some extra pressure, which should make it more sensitive, but we've tried it and it didn't really work for us.
Yeah, good luck with it, Emily, and that's all the time we have for this week's Spawnlings.
Oh, well, if you've got a question, then you can ask us. Here. Ow. Hat in your face.
Smells like girl's hair. Any chance of a cheese sandwich, Darren?
Oh, I'd love to, Bajo, but I'm afraid my cheese processor has run right out of milk. Oh, would you be able to go to the ABC Cow and get some more?
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Right, I estimate it'll take 7 minutes and 32 seconds for him to figure out there is no ABC Cow. So what should we talk about next?
Well, I've always wanted to talk about pixels, Darren. I mean, most people have heard the word, but what are they exactly? Well, they're actually dots in a game.
I have to stop you there, Hex. While the word pixel is definitely part of the gaming vocabulary, it's not strictly speaking a gaming term. Pixel is a mashup of the words picture and element, and it's used to denote the smallest part of an image that can be controlled. So, pixels are not only in games, but in everything that's on a screen.
Yes, okay, Darren. Well, thank you, but since this is a spawn point, let's just talk about pixels in games, shall we? A pixel is the smallest dot that can be controlled in a game, and you can combine these dots to make more complex images. So the more pixels, the more detail.
Affirmative.
Older consoles like this NES were not very powerful, and so that the number of pixels that could be controlled was relatively small. This meant that games looked quite blocky.
It's why Link wore such outlandish shoes and that floppy hat. There wasn't enough pixel detail to show normal-looking clothes.
Technological advances meant the next generation of consoles had far more processing power, which meant more pixels. So Link had longer limbs, pointier ears, and with the Nintendo 64, he made his 3D debut. And this is a trend that has continued right up to now. As consoles and computers have got more and more powerful, the number of pixels on the screen has exploded. Just look how splendid Link looks right now. All those pixels hard at work.
Hex, there are some other pixel facts that we should share with the spawnlings.
Go right ahead.
Well, there are other forms of pixel-style dots that go into making our images in our games, such as texels, they're textured elements, and voxels, they're volumetric elements, or 3D pixels. Then there are wireframes and polygons and...
Oh, hey, you know what? I might actually just go help Bajo milk that cow.
But I haven't even told you about jaggies. There's a fascinating story attached to jaggies. But wait, you know there isn't a cow, don't you? So why did you... Oh.
Hello, my name is Jordan. I'm 14 years old and I've been playing games since I was 3.
I'm Phil, Jordan's dad. I'm too old to remember my age, but I've been playing games with my son for 14 years and enjoyed every moment.
We have about 1,000 games inside, but with the shed and the cupboards, we might have another 100 to 1,000 games. Consoles, we have about 30, maybe?
Yeah, 30 different ones,
yeah.
Plus duplicates of a lot of them.
I was first introduced to gaming when my dad got out the Sega Mega Drive and had Sonic 2. And I really liked the game, all the colours and the fast pace, it was just awesome. It's a fast-paced side-scroller. You just have to try and reach the goal. And after every 2 levels, you get your boss and beat that and progress through the game. It was just a great game. My favourite game is, and has been for a long time, Guardian Heroes. It's a beat-em-up game on the Sega Saturn, released in 1996. I'm more into the older games. I want to finish off them before I start getting into anything really new. My favourite gaming moment was probably the time I finished Sonic 2, because you have to verse 2 really hard bosses with 0 rings, which is no life. And I finally completed it. I was really excited and went a bit crazy. It's good.
My favourite gaming moment was when I actually beat the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Tomb Raider 1. It took me about 10 attempts, but I beat that thing, yes. It was a really pleasing moment for me, yeah.
My favourite old game of Dad's would have to be Gallagher. Gallagher is a good game. It's got a nice basic scoring system. It's a bit tricky, but it's fun. I like it. I like playing games as a family because it just brings our whole family together. It's just something to do. Other than fishing, there's not much to do in Aldinga. It's just awesome. I'm really lucky that my dad's been collecting games for 14 years and he's going to pass it down to me. It's kind of like a family heirloom, our games. And I'm really happy he's doing this for me.
Well, that's the end of another show, which means more time to play games.
One day I'd like games fed directly into my brain so I could be playing games all the time and you wouldn't even know.
Oh, just get yourself a USB slot. It's very handy.
But then I'd be part man, part machine, Darren.
Well, we could make you all machine if you want. A full upgrade.
You guys, this is creeping me out. Next week, we'll bring you the best games in football with Pro Evolution Soccer 2011 and FIFA 11. Until then, it's Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out. Really, Bajo, I could assemble all the parts and have your brain uploaded into a flash card. 1 megabyte should do it.
More importantly, guys, what would you call me? Would I be Bajobot?
The Badginator?
Robo Bajo.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Serve the public trust. Protect the innocent. Uphold the law.